Hi, Melissa. Hi, Francis. So we'll just give everybody a couple more minutes here. Okay, Francis, no problem. Sorry I was late, guys. Supper ran a little late today. So I'm looking at my paints. I'm trying to decide what colors I'm going to go with. All right, so I'm going to start with gessoing my page. This is the paper bag art journal that we put together in a live the other night. So this is page 1. I have a total of 10 pages to fill in mine. So I figured we would go 10 lives every Wednesday at 8 o'clock, except for the next 2 weeks after this, because I am on the late shift at work, so we'll have to go 9 o'clock my time. So I'm just going to prime my page. Now you can go to the end of, right to the edges of your paper, but you don't have to. You can leave a border. This is a really good journal to try out new techniques. What you do want to make sure is that you have good coverage wherever you're putting the gesso, because paper bags are not known for taking a lot of water. Okay, I'm going to give that a quick dry, and then I'm going to put another coat on. So I couldn't decide. All day I was thinking, what am I going to do on this art journal page tonight? And then a friend was asking me what she was going to need tonight. And I'm just not sure. So I told her a bunch of stuff, and now I'm not sure if we're going to use that stuff. Sorry, Francis. But you said you're not participating tonight, so you won't be upset with me if I don't use what I told you. Hi, Dana. So I'm just adding gesso, Dana. I've added my second coat of gesso. I'm going to give that a quick dry. So my thinking is that every week in this book, with every page, we can try a new technique. Oh, that's okay, Dana. You can go to the edges or you can leave a border like mine. It's not a big deal. So I think tonight we're going to do kind of a spotlight technique. I considered doing the blackout technique, but I think tonight we're going to do the spotlight. Just making sure everything's good and dry. Then yep, your pages are gonna curl. Remember, it's a paper bag art journal. It's not going to perform like expensive paper, but that's okay. Okay, colors. What are we gonna use for colors tonight? We did purple on the cover. Do we go with blues or greens? Tough decision. But I'm thinking greens just to change it up a little bit. Is there a reason I don't put gesso on the paper bag? You mean right to the edges? No, I'm just saving time, and it's not a big deal for me to put gesso right to the edge. I kind of like the idea of having a border. It'll frame each page. So we're going to go with greens. Now I have those. Those. That one doesn't really fit. On the bag, this is the gesso though, on the bag itself. You mean before you cut it? Yeah, I kind of like the border too. Is that what you mean, Francis? Put it on the bag before you cut the bag? Because this is the bag. I think I'm going with a paintbrush tonight. So we're going to start this basically the same way. Oh, pour directly on the bag. I see what you're saying. Because this is really thin paper, I didn't want to take a chance of ripping the paper. Like, gesso is a wet medium, so I didn't want to add it too much directly in one spot to keep it from seeping into the bag too much and, you know, making the paper soggy. Hey, that one's not open yet. So we're going to blend a little, add some darker colors, some lighter colors, some different tones of green. And I'm not rinsing my paintbrush. I'm just, because I want these colors to blend a little bit, so it's really okay if I have a dirty paintbrush. Now, because I only have gesso in a certain spot, I kind of want to be careful that I don't put paint outside of that gesso. And if I have a little bit of white spots still, I'm okay with that. That's okay too. It just adds to the frame. So as I was saying, oh yes, so this is going to be very similar. The steps are going to be the same as we did for the front cover. Hey, maybe we'll throw some white in here too. But what happens after that is going to be a little different. Needs more of that brightness in there. Okay. I like it. So I'm going to dry it up. Not with that one, I'm not. Okay, good. All right, so same thing we did the other night, and I forgot my sponges. And we're going to apply some stencils. Of course, the ones I have handy. Same ones I used the other night. I promise next week I will switch them out. Alright, so same colors. We're not introducing any new colors yet. We will do that one of these weeks, but not tonight. I didn't think this light green was going to go, but I actually really like it on here. Gives a really nice contrast. All right, and how about the bright green? Now you'll notice my stencils are all dirty. I am a terrible stencil person. I don't clean them all the time, but I will every now and then soak them in super hot soapy water and clean them off. And because they're plastic, stuff doesn't really stay on them, so it's not too bad. What else have I got on my desk? I have these clocks. Shall we do the clocks? Let's do the clocks. Get some of those numbers in there. Yeah, that's a Stamperia stencil. Nice. It's very nice. All right, and I want to add some white. So I think I'm going to go back in with the chevron, the split chevron stencil. This one is from Catherine Pooler. But you know what? I think I need to give that a shot because it's kind of wet still. All right, and we will add some white in here, which is just the rest of the gesso I have sitting on my table. Add some more contrast in there. Okay. So, what's next is, after we dry it, we'll throw some stamps on. And this time I'm breaking out my trusty 49 and Market stamps. There's some real, they're well loved. So there's some really nice text stamps in this one. I think we're going to go with this one. Now the only problem I have is what's the bottom and what's the top? That's the top. Okay. I really need to get archival ink in different colors. I only have a few, like a couple of colors. I only have the big ink pad in black, and then I have 4 of the little ones, but it's black, gray, brown, and cobalt blue. So I'm really kind of pining for the distress color archival inks. I think those are going to have to be my next purchase. And remember, this is archival ink, so no matter what we do on top of it, it's not going to move, it's not going to reactivate. Ha! I put that one on upside down, but that's okay. All right, how about some of these zigzaggy lines? Yes, color families are good to have for paint. And you know, really, you don't need a ton of them, right? I mean, if you're going for depth, the least that you need is 3. And remember, this is mixed media. We do not need the perfect stamp. We don't need the perfect impression. And we can crisscross, and we can parallel. We got 1, 2, 3. We gotta do 2 more. Remember, odd numbers. Okay. All right, we're done with that. Done with that. The only other thing I want to do before we move on is I want some splatters. So I'm going to take my fan brush, water down my gesso that's left here, hopefully. And I'm going to add some white splatters. And I am terrible. I don't know if anybody else has this issue, but when I splatter, I end up with it everywhere. Oh, that's too big. I don't want that. Okay, seriously, I just got a splatter in the middle of my eyeglasses. Okay. We're going to dry this up quick, and then we're going to have some fun. I really like the greens. I didn't think they were going to go well together, but they really did. All right, I need to let that cool down because that paper's holding heat pretty good. In the meantime, I will get out my pencil and we are going to draw some circles. So, no special tools needed. Pencil and something round. Actually, a couple of different sizes would be good. So there's one. We'll put one off. We'll even overlap them. Two. One off the side. Remember, odd numbers. So I have 3 big ones. Now, what have I got that's small? Look at that. That I'd say is perfect. 1, 2, and 3. Now, if you have water-soluble pencils, like watercolor pencils, I have both. I have watercolor pencils, but I also have the Stabilo Marxals, and I have them in every color I could get, of course. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the white and the green. You can do this with watercolor pencils. Inktense work really well. The only thing with Inktense is remember that once they're dry, they're permanent, which is totally fine. Okay, so I have 3 big circles, 3 small circles. I want to determine which one is going to stand out, which one is going to be my most forward circle, because that's going to determine our focal point. And I think I want this one here. So what I'm going to do is take my Stabilo All pencil or my watercolor pencil, and I'm going to just add some color just on the outside of that circle line, all the way around. So if you have black, I'm trying the green. I don't know if it's going to be dark enough. If it's not, I will switch it to black and do it again. If you don't have a dark green or whatever color, then use the black. It works wonderfully. Okay, so I have that all the way around. Now I'm going to activate it with my water. And here's where we see the spotlight start to happen. And pardon me, I'm going to be turning my book. I hope you guys can all see this still. So I'm going to move that out of the way. Push this up. Okay, so do you see the shadow I've created? So now that I've done that, I want that to dry on the outside, but also what I want to do is create a highlight on the inside, and we'll do that at the end with the white. So on the other circles that are there, remember they're in the background. So we're not going to go all the way around. We're going to stop when they go underneath that other circle, and I shouldn't have continued my pencil lines, but I did. So I'll see if I can erase them. See if we can do that right now. Nope, not really, but that's okay. I'm going to add focal and some highlight in there, so it'll probably just blend in. That's okay. Some of it is erasing. Okay. Get rid of that mess. And honestly, I'm thinking I need to darken that up. I don't think that's dark enough. So I'm going to switch out for the black. Now you have to remember to go really, really light with these, because the color, especially in the black, is just like, it's almost shocking. So what's the weather like where everybody is tonight? So we'll activate that. Another pencil that's very comparable, is raining, to the Stabilo Marks All is actually a charcoal pencil, like a soft black charcoal pencil. I have several of those. I use those all the time too. I don't want a lot of harsh water lines, so what I'm doing is just getting clean water and just dragging out the end of the water and the Stabilo just so that they blend out a little bit. Yes, charcoal pencils are water reactive. Cold and sunny. Nice. It was damp and rainy today here, which is far cry from normal because it's usually, you know, snowing or 40 below. Okay, now you can see it much better. So I'm going to go back into this one, and the paper's warm, so my pencil like just melted on my paper. Actually, okay, I have a really old paintbrush here. It's falling apart in my hand. I'm going to actually go and do all of them. Okay, now we will go and activate them all. Yeah, knew that was going to do that. Super, super dark because it just melted to my paper. There. Oh, that's better. And remember, this is an art journal. Your lines do not have to be perfect and straight. I will probably go back after and darken that main one again because I want that to stand out as the focal point. And you know, it's just kind of like watercolor. It lightens up as it dries. It does. See, that's what happens when you add that shadow to look like it's behind your object. And it's going to get even better when we add the highlight into the center on the inside of the circles. And you can do this with any shape. And I thought about bringing out, like I have one stencil that's shaped like an actual person. And you can do that. It looks absolutely fantastic. But I thought, you know what? Let's do it with something easily found. You don't have to have it in your stash. You can just walk around the house and find something round. Okay, I'm going to give it a quick shot to dry it. Remember we talked about repeating elements? So in this one we have a couple of repeating elements. In the clock stencil, there are circles, parts of the clock, so that's repeating. The other repeating element we have are the chevrons and the zigzags in the stamp. Plus we have the dotty stencil and the splatter spots. Okay, so I'm going to go back over this main one. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm going to let it cool down for a second. Remember, paper bags hold heat. That's a good thing to remember. There we go. Okay. So I'm just going to go back around. Right, and we will activate this again. Hello, Angela. Okay, so that makes that focal point stand out a little bit more. Hello, Olivia. So I'm going to give this a quick dry, and then we're going to add highlights to those circles. And we'll give it a second to cool down. All right, white Stabilo. You can use a white gelato, Neo color. You can use a white watercolor pencil, white charcoal. What else? Watercolor crayons in white, distress crayon in white. I don't know that I've ever seen a white one, but you can use whatever you have for this. Whatever white you have. So basically what we're doing, we're going to come just inside, but not close, like not on the line. We're kind of spaced it out a little bit farther away from the line, not like the black where we did right beside it. And I don't know if this is going to give me enough of a highlight. I might switch to gelato as well. Let's see. We shall see. The white doesn't seem to be as soft as the black. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to switch to gelato. Trusty container of gelatos. All right, so here we go. That's going to be much better. Now, when I use gelatos, I don't usually use a brush. I go straight to the fingers. And because this is basically our last wet medium, it doesn't matter that it's water soluble. You can dampen your finger, like if you have a baby wipe handy and dampen your finger, that will help spread the gelato nicely. Add some more into the main one. Make sure it's brighter than the ones in the back. That one ended up quite bright. Okay, I like it. So this is about the point where you sit back and you think, what's next? We have this beautiful background. We've put these awesome circles on here. We've added dimension. So what's next? Do we finish up? Are we finished with the background and are we ready to put, you know, a quote on, or do we want to add, you know, do we add a little collage in there? This is where you sit back and look and wonder, you know, what's next? What do you feel like putting on it next? Anybody have any thoughts? Okay, so I'm just thinking here. I didn't pull up a quote. So let's go with circle quotes, images. What have we got? I'm not seeing anything that jumps out at me. Let's try changing that to quotes about circles, because all the quotes I'm getting are in a circular shape. Life is full of circles. I don't know. I need to ponder that for a minute. I also need to look and see if there's any of my odd paper that I like for collage. I don't even know if you guys can see what I'm doing. Bubbles. Ooh, there's a thought. Bubble quotes. Okay, let's take a look about bubbles. There's just no angry way to say bubbles. True. Here's a cute one. When you blow bubbles, you're sharing your bad breath in cute little containers. Okay, but nothing that really strikes my fancy, and nothing super short. They're always kind of, they're all kind of long. Okay. The other thing I need to get out is my scrap. My paper scraps. Okay, so I keep almost everything. So I have I have this plastic storage envelope full of things, paper, but I'm not seeing anything that's even close to these colors. Maybe I spoke too soon. That's actually kind of cool. Kind of like that. So this envelope of happiness, we'll call it. Yeah, you gotta do it, right? Like, how can you not? What about fabric? It's kind of big. Maybe we'll cut it down. Cut it that way and that way. I don't need a huge piece, but I do want the frayed ends, so I'm going to fray them again. I don't know what this is. It's like muslin or something, and it come in like a big 2-foot sheet of it, and I just, you know what, I just stripped it. I cut it into strips, and I don't know that, I haven't decided if I want to cover up those bubbles. I like them too much. So although I really like this, I think it covers up too much for me. So in that case, we switch to word stickers. We have Halloween, we have clippings. See if we can do some found poetry here. Ooh, I like that. I lived beneath the open sky. Ha, I got it. You're gonna like this. Okay. Oh, where'd it go? And watch me lose these tiny little stickers. I'm cutting one word off of here. I'm cutting the I. Now, I can't decide if I'm going to... How do I want to make them stand out? Do we... We will use our... We will use our archival ink and edge them around the outside. Thought I had a sponge for that, but that's okay. All right, archival ink, where did you go? Right there. And these are honestly so tiny, I don't know if they're going to stand out enough with this. And I'm trying not to cover up the words, so I think I might have to... Do I want them in there? Or do I want them down here? I kind of want them like so. And the other thing I've noticed is they're not sticking well to this paint, so I'm going to have to glue them. Okay, so my quote says, circle of light, little things live beneath the open sky. Wow, and my glue doesn't want to go either. What is going on? Okay, I'll give that just a second here. No, you are not going there. I can't hang on to them. They're like jumping out of my hand. Okay, so the quote says, circle of light, little things lived beneath the open sky. Really? think I know why it's not sticking. It's the gelato. Because gelato is a little bit like wax. So I'm going to need to put something down on top of it to let it set. I know, right? Trying to hang on to them and get them to stay down there. Darn it all. Okay, now she's setting. Okay, so circle of light, little things lived beneath the open sky. I like it, but I want them to stand out more, so I think I'm going to underline underneath them. I'm just going to give them a couple of minutes to dry. So while I'm doing that, oh, come on, really? Stay. I'm going to get out my, date stamp. What's the date today? 20. Nope, that's 2. That's the wrong way. Okay. So I like to stamp all of my art journals with the date, all my art journal pages with the date, so that I can, when I'm looking back on them, I know when I made them. I can see either how much I've grown, what I've learned. Okay, let's just make sure these silly things are staying down. And they're not. Okay. It's like we're switching to the ultimate glue. Look at how, what a mess. The Tombow. Oh, you know what? Let's try. Never mind that. Let's try the Nouveau Deluxe. Okay, really? It's like a comedy of errors tonight, I swear. What is going on? I don't know if you saw that, but I just pulled the whole centerpiece out of the bottle. There we go. All right, let's try this. And there's paper all over that. Okay, that one might be holding. This one is not really holding. Okay, I think we have a winner. Nouveau Deluxe. Great glue. So I'm just taking my Stabilo All pencil in black. Same one we went around the circles with. And I'm just underlining each sticker. And actually I think I'm going to go all the way around the outside. But I'm not going to activate it. I want to keep this sketchy look to it. And I also don't want the water to mess with the glue. I'm having enough troubles. And there we go. Okay. So there is our page with a spotlight technique. Shading, highlighting. We've done the background. Thanks, Dana. Super easy, guys, and super fun. And if you're one of those people like me that I have to create something almost every day, if I go a couple of days without creating, I get cranky, I get upset. And this, even though it didn't take us very long, it only took us an hour, not even, that's just enough. Okay, really, glue? Come on. It's just enough, even though it's only an hour, that it satisfies that artistic beast inside of me. Yeah, okay, whatever. But you know what I'm saying. All right, so she's done. Page number 1 is finished. Next week, we will work on the back side of that page, and that page will get even thicker and more solid when we put more gesso on the back side of it. So actually, I'm really happy with it. I like it. Does anybody have any questions? And I don't know why my video is really pixelated sometimes. I think it might be because there's too much going on. I'm not sure. Or just when I move around. Strange. Anyways, if nobody has any questions, then I will say goodbye. And I will see you again next week on Wednesday, where we will complete another page in our art journal. And remember that for the rest of this month, Kelly has 20% off the Greeting Farm and Mixed Media Supplies. That does not include new arrivals and certain things, I'm sure. But there's also a coupon code for 25% off to celebrate our sponsorship week at Passionate Paper Creations. Okay, so I will talk to you later. Thanks, guys, for joining me.